So now we do the obligatory. Are we live? Are we live?
Are we good?
It says
check.
It says we're live right there. There we go. Lapse time 5
Sweet.
seconds, and there's gonna come up there. Hey, we're live.
Awesome.
That's cool. All right, I'm gonna get rid of that so we don't have to look at ourselves.
Because we're ugly?
Yeah, one of us at least.
I know. One of us has a baby face. One of us has a luscious beard.
One of us is about to cut this beard because it's getting to the point where it's annoying.
I'll take it. I'll take it. If you want to pass it on.
I'm turning this into a South Park episode. Alright, so yeah, let me get this situated. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it, folks. This is the Tru Homiez Podcast is the working title I've got going on here. As you can see, we have a lovely graphic down here on the bottom. Let me pull that up so I can point at the screen a little better. And you see this lovely graphic? Yeah.
it's mirrored. It's so I don't I'm never going to be on live TV. This is never going to work.
Well, it's the webcam that makes it weird. Anyway, this is a professionally done podcast. I did a lot of work on that graphic. We are here to bring you all of the greatest Chiefs and Patriots talk that we can provide, as well as a little bit of college football towards the end of the show. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. If this was ESPN, this would be the first thing on our list of stuff that we have to do. It's called the lead. So, Chiefs and Patriots.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, yep, you know how it is. We're pretty pumped. Obviously, with the Royals kind of waving the white flag at this point, I mean, they're still in it, obviously. We're not going to get in the Royals talk, but I'd say I'm really excited. I'm not going in expecting a big performance or anything, but
yeah.
Nevertheless, it's the beginning of football season, so I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm more excited about is getting the fantasy season, getting the NFL season kicked off.
Right.
I'm excited that it's the Chiefs playing, but I don't have high hopes. That's not how you sell your brand new podcast that you're starting.
We're excited, but we're probably going to lose. So.
Yeah, we're going to get our asses kicked, but damn are we
we're so hyped. We're so hyped, though.
Yeah, Chiefs Patriots, not the draw you want. I came up with a few keys to the game because those are popular. Everybody likes to have keys to the game. And when you're playing the Patriots, you have to play perfect football, especially this season, the way that everybody seems to have just anointed them as back-to-back Super Bowl champions already. You look at the odds right now, they have better odds than the bottom 16, 17 teams in the league combined. You know, they well and beyond established to be the favorites to win everything this year. A lot of people talking about 16-0. I'm not in that camp.
I'm not trained.
There's no way I could put money on a 40-year-old quarterback to win 16 football games, even if he stays healthy. This is one interesting point, actually. I didn't write this in the notes, but you remember a few years ago, the last time the Chiefs played in Foxborough on an opening day, and something about Tom Brady's leg exploded that day. So I don't know if on the Patriots I'm looking forward to that, but that was something I've been thinking about the last couple of days. Anyway, my keys to the game. You have to win time of possession, and not just by a little bit, but by a lot. The defense has got to be able to get off the field quickly. The offense has to sustain drives. The running game, the short passes, maybe a couple long ones, but mostly short passes, and the running game have to just be, snap, snap. You have to be in a rhythm. You have to keep Tom Brady out of his rhythm, and you have to be in your own rhythm.
I like that a lot. I mean, when you're playing the Patriots, everything has to go in your way. As Caleb said, you have to be perfect. The Patriots team isn't perfect, but they're pretty close as far as this NFL season goes. So I'm going to piggyback on your time possession key, because Tom Brady's Tom Brady. He is 40, but that offense is going to be pretty impressive, I'd say. But yeah, you got a running game especially. I don't know how Kareem Hunt's going to do on live number ones for a full game. I don't think the Patriots defense is incredible by any means, but I do think that they're good enough to hold the Chiefs to under 20 points. So I think, like you said, short passes, maybe a couple long ones. I don't know. It's Alex Smith, but I think the running game has to be a lot bigger than people are talking about.
Yeah, the running game is really going to be key. And that's like people always talk about how they want more downfield passes. That's why we drafted this guy by the name of Patrick Mahomes. But I really don't want the Chiefs throwing long tonight because you even if you're not throwing interceptions, Alex Smith isn't going to throw a long bomb and try and force one into deep coverage. But if you get behind on the downs, like if you throw 1st and 10, you throw a deep bomb, it's incomplete. You're behind schedule now, and that's not something the Chiefs can really afford tonight. The Chiefs have to stay ahead of schedule. Rip off chunks in the running game. You can't rely on those deep passes. You can't. It's a lot like in basketball. You don't press a pressing team because you can't. If that's not your game, you can't keep up on them. Like the Royals shouldn't try and out-homer the Yankees. The Chiefs should not try and outscore the Patriots. You've got to just be able to keep them close. Keep the score down, and hopefully at the end you're the one with the ball last and a chance to make something happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of possessions just kind of got to grind out. I know Andy Reid, that first possession, it's going to be great. We're going to probably march on the field and score a touchdown. Everyone's like, Alex Smith, it's going to be a new quarterback this year. And then the second possession is going to come up, and we're going to have a 3-and-out, and everyone's going to be pissed.
I don't even think it'll be a touchdown. They're going to drive the ball directly to the 15-yard line and then stall. Nothing will happen after that.
Stall game.
The 15 might be generous, whatever. They're going to get in the field goal range and it'll be done. We're going to get the ball first, though, from that projection, because that's just how we freaking roll. We get the ball, we march straight downfield. My other key of the game, which very much piggybacks off time of possession, is turnovers. This is something that the Patriots didn't do last year. Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions the whole season. That's a really known stat at this point. But that's something the Chiefs pride off of. You have the Chiefs, a team that takes the ball away really well. You have the Patriots, a team that doesn't give the ball away ever. And one of those is going to have to bend, and it's more than likely going to be that the Patriots don't turn the ball over. And that's why it's more than likely going to be the Patriots win the game. But if the Chiefs are able to force a couple turnovers, maybe even not an interception, maybe they get a fumble or something, Maybe they create a big play in special teams. I always kind of loop those together.
Right, I think so too.
Big plays on defense and big plays on special team. It could be a turnover, it could be a special team score, either or. But you've got to steal extra points. You can't give up opportunities. You have to be able to make opportunities. You have to take every opportunity you get. So when the Chiefs get down to the 15, they need to score 6.
Right.
And then when opportunity presents itself, you're going to have to get a couple turnovers tonight.
Like I said earlier, a lot of things have to fall in the Chiefs' way. And like Caleb said, special teams and turnovers have to be huge. Because I feel like last year, the way the Chiefs won the division was, I'm not going to say lucky, because this is a defense that creates turnovers, but a lot of turnovers happened that led to Chiefs wins. And I think if we get 2 turnovers tonight, that we will be in contention at the end of the game. But I don't think we have big special teams plays. I don't think this year in general we're going to have like Tyreek Hill scoring 6 special teams touchdowns. That's excellent. But
Tyreek Hill, he's going to have to be on the field every possession now.
He's number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, so I don't know how much he's going to have left for special teams. I know he's going to be out there though.
Got Tyreek Hill Jr. and Anthony Thomas.
Yeah. I had one more point that I was ready to go, and then while you were talking,
and then I got you sidetracked. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'll think of it, or I'll just sit here and stall for time and laugh at each other until I think of it. Oh, okay. Here it was. My other thing on the turnovers is the Chiefs are great at creating turnovers, but they're playing a team that has had like 3 months of preparation for this game. You can draw up stuff. You can avoid Marcus Peters in the passing game when you have 3 months to prepare for it, and when you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, and when you have Bill Belichick as your coach there. Like if this game was in week 7, I think it would be a closer game. But I think the extra preparation Andy Reid's a great coach, but I think with all this preparation, with a Hall of Fame coach and quarterback getting to zero in on you for months, that's not something that normally would go well for the lesser team.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Belichick in preparation, but let's not underestimate Andy Reid's ability to prepare. We've seen what he does on bye weeks. I'm not saying Belichick is not as good as a coach as Andy Reid, and he can prepare his team, obviously. He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best head coaches of all time. But I do think that he will prepare to stay away from Marcus Peters because he's a Pro Bowl corner, and I don't really feel that much confidence when it comes to the Chiefs secondary other than Marcus Peters. And Eric Berry, obviously,
and even Eric Berry's more in the run
even
game.
Eric Berry, yeah. But the second corner, I feel like is going to get a little picked on tonight. But running game wise, I don't know what to really expect from the Chiefs because I know that was a big point in the offseason is they want to be a better run stopping team. So
is the second corner still Phillip Gaines?
I think Phillip Gaines won that position. It was who was the guy last year who made a couple big plays?
I couldn't tell you.
I always forget. That's what I was trying to get to his name, but I couldn't remember his name. He made a couple big plays last year. Oh, jeez, whatever.
Yeah, we're not going to pull up the Chiefs depth chart on the fly here.
I'm good.
So those were my keys. Were time of possession and turnovers. Those are probably the two most generic keys that have ever existed in football. Because if you win time of possession and turnovers, you're going to win games.
Right.
While you're at it, you can throw some special teams in there. I guess one more key, just kind of out of nowhere here, is you've got to get the running game, and you've got to plow straight up the middle. If you win the line of scrimmage, that's another good one. You've got to that piggyback straight with the time of possession one.
Right.
But you've got to win the line of scrimmage, and I guess really on both sides. If you're able to limit the Patriots in the run game, if you're able to get a couple sacks, that could also really play well into my time of possession. It's funny how this football thing works together.
Football is an interesting sport. Yeah, I think Justin Houston and D Ford have to have really big games.
Yeah, isn't it weird? You're gonna have like a healthy Justin Houston.
Right. A healthy Justin Houston does wonders for your football team. Yeah, in a passing league, obviously you have to get pressure on the quarterback, and if we let Tom Brady sit back in the pocket on touch, he's just gonna pick us apart, kind of like Ben Roethlisberger did. But Ben Roethlisberger couldn't score touchdowns against us, but Tom Brady will. So
I think we've been going for like 10-15 minutes here. This is when real shows have commercial breaks. This is when I have mic mute so that I can pull up my research and stuff for the next segment. Coming back after this, like just a few second break here, we are going to talk about our division winners for each division. So stick around here on Tru Homiez Podcast.
Hey, shout out to our one viewer. Okay.
Yeah, apparently we have a viewer here. Let me pull that up on the big screen here real quick. Yeah, we have a viewer.
Hopefully we're not too boring.
Yeah, you need to put stuff in the chat though, or else.
Yeah, let's chat it up.
Yeah, we'll after we get done with our next little segment here, we might talk to you a little bit.
If you've got some hot takes, just fire them in there.
Or if you got any questions, make the show better.
I'm not exactly a hot take machine, so if you want to come at me with some hot takes, I can be conservative about it and calm you down.
Yeah, we're not the first take version of podcast. We're more like whatever that guy is that I'm trying to think of.
Cowherd?
No.
Cowherd,
yes.
He does not have hot takes.
Yes.
Besides Russell Westbrook sucking.
The guy on NBC who does Dan Patrick.
Oh yeah, Dan Patrick.
We are Dan Patrick or Danny Parkins, but
yeah, and we're not running the show Hughley. We might have run the show on. I'll email him.
Yeah, we'll actually, we might get Seed on at the Mizzou game.
Yeah,
we're going to.
There's a chance we might get Carrington Harrison on the show, but that's just a rumor.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Seed.
We'll talk to our producer. We'll see what he says.
Yeah, our producer. You mean me?
Yeah.
Anyway. Next up, we've got our 2017 NFL predictions. We're going to predict each division. And I'm also going to give my Super Bowl. I got a winner for both sides. I don't know if he's got a Super Bowl pick here. We didn't discuss that.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm going to be one of those guys this year.
Anyway, we're going to start out with the AFC, and because that's how the list is on my computer, we're going to start out with the AFC East. I've got the Dolphins winning the division. I really like what the Dolphins have been doing on there, adding Jay Cutler to the mix. And I think that really helps them improve.
Oh, my God. All right, I'm going to get my own podcast now. It's been great to talk with them.
I have the Patriots. I'm sorry.
I don't really think we need to discuss the East very much. I mean, I think the Dolphins can give them a game, but I don't think that they're going to win.
I don't think anybody remembers it, but the Dolphins were in the playoffs last year. Like the Dolphins.
I know. I always forget. I feel like the Dolphins are this trash organization, but they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Tannehill isn't garbage, but he's also hurt.
Right.
And nobody, I think, has confidence in Jay Cutler. So
I don't think Jay Cutler is garbage by any means. He's he's better than Colin Kaepernick, if we're going to have that discussion.
And the Bills looked like a playoff team in the first half of last year, too. They just kind of petered at the end. And the Jets are a bottom three organization in football right now.
I remember the Bills have been kind of a sexy pick last year.
Yeah.
But I think they finished third.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the AFC West. This is the important one.
All right. My pick for the AFC West division winner is the Raiders.
I also picked the Raiders. Why did we pick the Raiders?
Well, the Raiders are good, Caleb. The Raiders are very good. I mean, I think it is kind of it's not exactly a hot take to think that they kind of are the dominant in this division because they finished second. Obviously, last year the Chiefs won, but I think just looking at their roster, it's hard to deny what they could have the ability to do this year. And I really do think they beat the Chiefs at Oakland and maybe at Arrowhead, but I think they win the division by at least 2 or 3 games.
So, if they're winning the division by 2-3 games, you think they're going like 14-2?
I wouldn't be surprised if they went 13-3, 12-4. I just think I don't see the Chiefs winning more than 9 games.
All right. See, I think that this division is going to eat it. Everybody's talking about the Chargers are a sexy pick. But
no, yeah.
The Chargers are also the third best team in the division.
Yeah.
And even though the Broncos don't have a quarterback, the rest of their roster is pretty good. I think this division is going to eat itself up a little more than it did last year. I have the Raiders going 11-5, and I think the Chiefs end up 10-6. Chiefs have a tough schedule. 10-6 would be awesome, but that's what I think it's going to end up at. I don't think the Raiders. I think the Raiders are a darn good football team, but they're going to find some losses in there. They say one of the best ways to win in the NFL, though, is a young quarterback on a cheap contract, and that's what the Raiders have right now, and that's why they're the best team in this division.
Yeah, I mean, I like your point saying the division's going to eat itself up. Like you said about the Broncos, their quarterback depth chart is not good.
Dude, Brock Osweiler is back.
Brock Osweiler.
Dude, he looked amazing 3 years ago.
Well, I don't know what his contract was at the Texans, but he went down to under $1 million. That's pretty sad. Feel for the guy, but he's not a good quarterback. The ceiling for who's their quarterback? What's his name?
The rookie
from Northwestern.
Guy. Yeah, that guy.
You know who I'm talking about. His ceiling's Alex Smith. So I don't see the Broncos having. Yeah, what's his name? Look him up.
Broncos.
we had a 20-minute show prep. So Trevor Siemian. Trevor Siemian's ceiling is Alex Smith, and Paxton Lynch is gonna be a but he's already a bust. But his career is going to be looked at as a bust.
What about Kyle Sloter and Chad Kelly?
Ole Miss Chad Kelly. Yeah, but like Caleb said, their defense is good. They have a pretty good roster besides quarterback, but I think they finished third. Maybe you can probably interchange them and the Chargers. I don't really see them as a threat to the Chiefs or the Raiders, but that's how I see it.
Broncos should sign Colin Kaepernick. I said that.
I think they should too, but if you want to get into it, we can. It might.
I mean, there's nothing to say. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I think Roger Goodell even came on that new show with Nick Wright on FS1 and said he doesn't think he's going to get signed. But I'll say this about Kaepernick. I think he'd be a quality backup, a bottom half of the NFL starter, and he should be signed, but he kind of dug his own grave. So.
Well, if you're the Broncos and you just brought back Brock Osweiler, a quarterback that got cut by the Texans and then by the Browns,
you're probably not going to sign Colin Kaepernick.
I'm just saying, if you signed Brock Osweiler over Colin Kaepernick, though, you're not very smart.
Right.
But then again, very conservative part of the country, right? You know, Denver, that state that legalized weed, your fans wouldn't have a problem with it. It's a liberal state. All right, there you go. There's my political takes of today.
All right, let's move on to the North.
The AFC North.
All right, my North pick is the Steelers. I think the Steelers and the Patriots are pretty far and above. Actually, not too far away from the Raiders, I guess. So I think, let me rephrase that. The Steelers, Raiders, and Patriots are pretty far and above the best teams in the AFC. I think the AFC after that is, I wouldn't say average, but not very good. So go ahead.
I also have the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, unless you think the Browns are going to resurrect this division.
I was playing Madden last night, and there was one of the news stories came up, and it was this thing that said, like, nobody would be surprised if the Browns won by 3 touchdowns over the Bengals. I'm like, that's not happening, ever. I like the Bengals as a possible wild card.
Wild card, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But we haven't gotten to that point yet, but I was just going to throw that out there real quick. Finally, the AFC South.
AFC South, I'm going to go with the Titans. I'm a big Marcus Mariota fan. I like their running game, and I think they're going to own this crappy division. And that's all I have to say about that.
I think the Titans and the Colts both go 9-7, and it comes down to tiebreakers.
You think the Colts are going 9-7?
Yes. They play the Jaguars twice. They play the Texans twice. I'm not very high on the Texans. For the Texans, they have J.J. Watt back, and they really haven't gotten that much worse. They didn't have a quarterback last year, and they made the playoffs. So, yeah. Let me rephrase that. I think the Titans and the Colts both go 8-8, and the Texans go 7-9, and it's a division battle. It's going to be like I remember the NFC West several years ago, where it was the Rams went like 7-9 and made the playoffs, and so
something ridiculous like that. It was a crapshoot.
That's going to be that division.
Yeah, I hate the AFC South.
The AFC South has been bad for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
and they have Andrew Luck, who's supposed to be
a
quarterback.
He was. I saw him as the next Peyton Manning franchise type quarterback, but that's yet to be seen. And then again, he still has time.
Well,
so.
He's a bit. Nobody's willing to say it, but he is injury prone.
Yeah, he is injury prone.
I have not heard anybody come out and say that though. But I don't know. Every year he's got something. We had to bring Matt Hassel back out of the grave and start for him for a while. So, we got to do a wild card team. So, my division winners, I had Patriots, Raiders, Steelers, and I'm going to go with Colts because maybe Andrew Luck plays for 10 games this year. And you had?
I had the Patriots in the East, Raiders in the West, North Steelers, and the South the Titans.
All right, and for wild card teams, my first wild card will be the Kansas City Chiefs at 10-6. Most likely I believe they will be your first wild card. My second one, my thoughts were second place in the AFC East. You could get the Bengals or maybe even the Ravens, honestly, out of the AFC North. Or possibly, if the AFC West happened to not eat itself alive, the Chargers seem to be sexy and everybody wants to talk about them. But in the end, I'm going to go with the Bengals from the AFC North.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the AFC is very good this year after those top three teams, but in the wild card, I will have the Chiefs. I think they go 9-7, 10-6 would be excellent. I think their schedule is a lot tougher than last year. A lot more challenges are going to lie ahead. And out of the North, I'd say probably the Bengals. I'm not a big Andy Dalton fan, but I think he's good enough to get the job done,
and
but
they've got
not
AJ
good
Green.
enough. Like Alex Smith, not good enough to take him to the next level.
And they've got AJ Green back.
AJ Green,
and
obviously.
having an AJ Green to throw at makes you better than Alex Smith.
Exactly.
All right, so now we're to the NFC. Starting us off, we've got the NFC East. We've got the Cowboys, a team that's in Texas, who also happens to play in the NFC East from that division. What do you think about this division?
We're talking about sexy picks. I see the Giants. A lot of people are talking about them as a sexy pick, but I will choose the Cowboys as my NFC East winner.
All right, so I have no faith in Dak Prescott to lead this team and be as awesome. He's not going to be terrible.
Yeah, he's not. There's no way he lives up to last year.
He is going to have a very significant sophomore slump. The Giants, I don't really like. Everybody talks about this as a strong division. I genuinely see it as a weak-ish division. Not like really weak, but like an average division at best, though. I don't think the Cowboys can possibly stand up to what they did last year.
No.
Especially with 6 weeks without Ezekiel Elliott. And that suspension will not be reduced because I have this guy named Darren McFadden on my fantasy team. Locked and ready.
He's ready to go. Ready to go.
I don't like the Giants because I don't like Eli Manning because he throws the ball to the other team a lot.
That's not good. From what I've heard, that's not good.
Yeah. I like the Eagles actually a lot. I see Carson Wentz taking some big steps. I see Carson Wentz, he went through the pains last year. This year he's coming in locked, ready to go as a starter. Last year he wasn't practicing. People forget this. Like the Eagles brought in who was it they brought in? They had Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford, I believe, was the one they expected to be the starter, and they also had a second guy. They brought Chase Daniel in too, expecting him to be the
Tiger Blood. Chase Daniel.
Carson Wentz was drafted, and he thought he was going to be the third-string quarterback going into that year, and then right before Week 1, was just kind of thrown out there. So he didn't get the full reps that he could out. This year, he is the starter from day one. He's locked in. And the more I talk about it, every time I talk about the Eagles, I keep wanting to make them a division winner. And today, I've decided that we're going to lock that one in. I believe the Eagles will win that division going 10-6. Yeah.
The Eagles. Okay.
Yeah. I'm freaking ready to bring out the hot takes.
If you have faith in Carson Wentz, that's on you. You're probably not a pretty intelligent guy, but hey. Whatever floats your boat, man.
Also, the Redskins are in that division too, but I
wasn't going to talk about the Redskins.
They've kind of made their quarterback there a little bit mad by not re-signing him, so I don't exactly expect it to be a good, well-rounded mesh of a team. But yeah, I expect that to be a really tight division.
Yeah.
And not to get too far ahead of myself, but I see 2 wild cards in that division.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on. From the NFC West, I have chosen the Seahawks. The Seahawks, whatever you want to call them. Russell Wilson's my fantasy quarterback, so I'm going to predict he has a huge year and leads me to the promised land.
I think the Cardinals, are going to take a step forward. You can't possibly be as bad as they were last year and have David Johnson running for that many yards.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Seahawks win the division.
Okay.
The NFC North, if you don't pick the Packers, you might be as dumb as somebody that picks the Eagles in the NFC East.
Yeah, I was researching it, and a lot of Lions hot takes came in. But if
I see the Lions taking a pretty good step back, and I was a Lions fan last year. I was
I'm big on Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford was also my fantasy quarterback. That might have been why I was a little bit on the Lions bandwagon right at the start there. But yeah, I see the Packers sweeping that division away pretty cleanly. And the NFC South.
I don't even remember who I picked for this one. The Falcons. Should have been winners of the Super Bowl. I think they have another big year. I don't think their offense is going to be as dominant as we saw last year. That was a pretty tremendous offense. But I think the Bucs take a step forward. I'm a big Watson fan. Or not Watson, sorry. Why did I say Deshaun Watson? Why did I forget the quarterback's name? I just said his name this was a second ago.
Florida State.
Florida State. Freaking loudmouth. Hard Knocks. Wow.
Crabs.
Yeah, he stole crab legs. Man, this is not a good day for me. I need more Mountain Dew. Jameis freaking Winston. I think he can be a franchise quarterback and maybe a fantasy candidate or fantasy MVP candidate. I wish he was my fantasy quarterback.
MVP candidate, eh?
MVP candidate in the future. I don't think right now.
MVP is all about the story. So, you're saying like next year he has that huge season that breaks out. To win MVP, it's not only about having great numbers; it's about being a great story. And if he had an awesome season, it would be a great story. In that division, I expect there's no way the Falcons' offense can possibly be as good as they were last year, and they will take a step back, which makes the division pretty interesting for me. The Panthers cannot possibly be as bad as they were last year.
They were surprisingly bad last year.
I mean, I was kind of on the anti-Panthers bandwagon, and this year I'm on the pro-Panthers bandwagon. Unfortunately, I can't pick against the Super Bowl should-have-been champions, so I will take the Falcons to win that division, but I expect it to be like a 3 seed, probably.
Yeah,
like a 3 or a 4 seed out of that division. I don't think that the Falcons are like the division winner. That's going to be 10-6 at best.
Yeah, right.
10-6, probably 9-7.
Yeah, I don't think we see a wild card come out of this division, but like you said, it's hard to pick against the Falcons. Excuse me for the voice crack. But yeah, like I said, I think the Bucs take a step in the right direction. I like their offense. I like their quarterback, the wide receivers, Mike Evans, Jackson. But yeah, Falcons definitely probably 10-6, maybe 11 wins if they have a really good season offensive wise again. But yeah, that's our division winners for the NFL this year.
Yeah, so I went Eagles, Seahawks, Packers, Falcons.
I went Cowboys, Seahawks, Packers, and the Falcons. And
so I made this hot take when I was for the wild cards here. I made a take a while ago with Gilkey. All hail Austin Gilkey, golfing legend.
Gilkey.
And I told him that the Giants were not going to make the playoffs this year. And while I stand by that take with him, with this show, I think that both of the wild cards come out of the NFC East. I believe the Cowboys and the Giants both come out of that purely for the fact that I can't possibly see other teams that could come out of this. The Lions could be, if they don't fall off the map, maybe. There's no way anyone from the NFC... Well, I do think the Cardinals are going to trend upwards. I don't think that they're going to be in contention, really. And then the NFC South, maybe the Panthers, maybe. But really, I don't like a lot of those teams. But then again, with wildcard teams, obviously there's going to be holes in them. Mm-hmm. So Cowboys and Giants are both my wildcards.
Yeah, I'm going to go with... in the East, going to go with the Giants. I do like their roster. I don't like their quarterback. Like Caleb says, he throws a lot of interceptions. That's not good if you want to win football games. And the second wild card, I'm going to go with the Lions, simply because I like Matt Stafford. He hasn't proven anything. He has 0 playoff wins, but with that big contract, hopefully he lives up to it.
But then again, every quarterback has a big contract at this point.
This contract is pretty big if you haven't looked at it.
Yeah, but they're gonna keep growing. I can't blame the Lions. I've seen the numbers.
I always want to hop on the Lions bandwagon for some reason. I can't figure out why, and they always let me down.
Well, and the thing is, like he's throwing to like Marvin Jones.
Right.
He doesn't have an elite receiving core thanks to the great Megatron deciding to
rest in peace
to walk away from football, which I can't blame him for.
No.
Make your money and get out while you can. But from the fans' perspective, I kind of miss him. But yeah, there we go. Super Bowl.
All right. Super Bowl predictions, I'm going to let you go first because I feel like you have a semi-hot take coming.
Oh, I have hot takes coming? Well, here, let me tell you. I don't think it's the Patriots. I can bet on them to win the division, but at that point, 40-year-old Tom Brady's gonna have to make it through that many games. I think this is the last season of good Tom Brady we see. I believe he's going to start tailing off during this season. Either he gets hurt or the game starts to catch up with him. I can't put my faith. 40 is a milestone, and it's something that catches everybody. I don't think he's going to keep going.
Okay.
I've got to take my take.
Okay.
The Steelers are my AFC.
That's
team.
okay. That's not too hot. I mean,
yeah, I don't have like flaming takes.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were gonna say like Andy Dalton with the Bengals takes a huge run or something.
My take, I genuinely thought the Steelers were my Super Bowl pick last year. Mm-hmm. Like I had them to win the whole thing. I'm sticking on that, I guess, for another season.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: What have you seen from the New England Patriots to show you that Tom Brady, the GOAT, the GOAT, 5-time Super Bowl winner?
All right.
What have you seen from him that tells you that he's going to decline?
There's a number next to his name, and it's a 4 and a 0.
That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy.
Also, here, if you want some more, he's on the cover of Madden this year.
I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
There's another good one for you.
I stand corrected.
No, it's just something like I can't base it on fact. I mean, he's the greatest quarterback to ever play football,
right?
And he has looked every bit of it, and not in the first half of the Super Bowl, but in the second half of the Super Bowl, he looked every bit the greatest quarterback that has ever played football.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he can sustain it. You know. As well as if you want to keep throwing more stuff out there, Super Bowl teams very rarely repeat themselves.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
I don't have any facts behind it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with picking the Steelers. They're an excellent football team. So are the Patriots, but I think you can go either way. Did you ever say your NFC one?
No, I was just.
Oh,
my
yeah,
AFC.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to let you do
Okay,
your
well,
AFC.
as you could probably tell from my argument, I was begging for Tom Brady. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I think they're far and away the best team in the NFL, but I don't think they're going 16-0. I think that's a little ridiculous. In the game of football, there's just so many things that could not go their way. I don't see any chance that they go 16-0. I wouldn't be surprised if they had 14-2 record. I think that's very attainable for this Patriots team. But yep, I think it's going to be Steelers and Patriots to go to the ship, and I'm going to go with the Patriots. And your NFC one is?
My NFC one. I'm very tempted. I've been bouncing this one back and forth a little bit about whether or not I go Seahawks or Packers. Mm-hmm. My pick last year was the Packers. They let me down in the championship round there, even though it looked good. I saw the comeback brimming. But I'm going to go with the Packers. I'm going to stick with it.
I mean, the Packers, it's just one of those things where in a passing league and you have a quarterback who's that good, it's hard to vote against him ever in anything.
Yeah.
And they were my pick last year to go all the way and win it. And so I'm going to go with them again. I'm going to go Patriots and Packers, and the winner will be the Patriots. I don't want to say it. I hate the Patriots. I'm jealous of their legacy. Cody's back. But I will say this. I think that their team is far and away the best team in the NFL. I think it's a very good game against two incredibly talented quarterbacks, but I don't think the Packers win that game.
Go Pack, go! I have the Packers over the Steelers. I'm sure we nailed all of those. We'll take a look back at this though. If we haven't canceled this show by the playoffs, we'll look back at this after here in 17 weeks. We'll look at this and tell you how we did here. So let's see, how long has this show been going? We've got one more segment lined up.
I think about like 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're at 39 minutes. That's not
right.
bad. We have 2 viewers too.
Oh, sweet. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, none of you have commented anything, though, so that's too bad. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with a little bit of college football talk, and then we'll wrap this thing up here on the VKU Kills Network. And we're back.
Hi, Ian Jones. If you're there, I want you to comment something.
Yeah.
Comment some Bones Jones hot takes. If you want to say something about Missouri, go for it. I'll be happy to shoot you down.
Okay. Here, before we get into anything, let me just address a point that was brought up to me before the show, like a week ago, where I was told that Missouri and Texas A&M, they joined the SEC at the same time. Mm-hmm. I was told that Missouri has a better football program than Texas A&M over that span. First of all, that's not a metric you can say. A football program is an extended period of time, not 4 years.
Yeah.
But even then...
I mean, the small sample size we have, I don't think that's a factual statement.
Even in that time, though, they had this guy named Johnny Manziel.
He was fairly good.
Yeah, he went out there and did a bunch of stuff. The only reason Missouri even is in that argument is because they play in the garbage...
Yeah,
weird to say that, garbage SEC East.
They were blessed with a good team at that time that in a crappy division to make it to those championship games.
Somehow they managed to have an above-average football team at the same time that Georgia and Florida were both way down.
It was. I always thought how strange it was. We always talk about how great the SEC is as a whole, and then Missouri comes in, and they're blessed with this garbage conference. Or garbage division.
Yeah, they didn't have to play Auburn. They didn't have to play Alabama. No. They didn't have to play Texas A&M, the team that you're arguing against.
Right.
They didn't have to play Tennessee. Has been good the last couple of years. They didn't have to play any of those guys.
Yeah, they were. I will say this: they had good teams. Yeah, those are good Missouri teams. But
their division included like Vanderbilt and South Carolina.
Right. I mean, if we're gonna look at it objectively. It's pretty easy to say that Missouri is not as good.
Right, I guarantee you, when we look at this after the segment, there's like paragraphs of stuff.
God damn it!
No, with Ian typing away. Anyway, let's get to what we actually want to talk about. Screw Missouri football.
Let's talk about real football.
But wait, hold up. Missouri football gave up like 500-something yards of offense to Missouri State, and 40-something points. All right, now we get to real football. KU.
Wave the wheat, baby. Rock chalk it up.
Yeah, but for our one viewer, that probably came from Wave the Wheat tweets.
It's me, man. This is me. I'm the guy behind the best Twitter account in KU Twitter. On KU Twitter, Wave the Wheat.
Wait, hold up. Let me change the bottom here. Well, you can keep going. We're going to get to it.
If you want not so hot takes, very real and unbiased takes,
there we go.
And during basketball season, the best non-coach out there, find my Twitter account at WTW_Hawks. Wave the wheat. I'm up to 200 plus followers. We're on the way to 1,000.
He has more followers than my actual Twitter.
Yeah, after like 5 months. So we're on our way to the top. If anyone wants to sponsor my Twitter account or this podcast, please step up.
Yeah. Thank you, Don Hugo. Somebody could step up.
Sponsored by absolutely nobody. Somebody could step up.
It's what you watch.
What you watch.
Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. All right, we're done.
All right, let's talk about KU football.
All right, KU football. They play the game against Southeastern Missouri. They won 38-16. I didn't pay attention.
I was actually in the great state of Missouri during that time span, so I wasn't able to watch the game. But from what I did saw, I was impressed with Peyton Bender. He looks like he can be a suitable quarterback for the whole season. He's not by any means a top quarterback in the Big 12, but he can be good enough to maybe get you to 4 wins.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is SEMO. Let's just say that now it's SEMO, and we probably shouldn't have given up 16 points against them. But
the defense didn't actually play that bad. A lot of that it was like a. I watched the highlights of this, but I don't remember. By the way, Peyton Bender looks really good in his highlight reel.
Next Todd Reesing.
That's a Clayton Lacey. That was the greatest line I've ever heard him say. He's like, I never miss in my highlight reel.
Well, I will say this about the KU defense. Joe Deneen Jr., if that's how you say his name, Deneen, 15 solo tackles, really impressive. Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week.
2.5 tackles in the backfield.
Yeah, he looked really good. Daniel Wise and Dorrance Armstrong, they're maybe I'd say top 3 defensive line in the Big 12, which is a really good thing for the Jayhawks.
What do you think they would be in the SEC?
Probably the 7th best, but that's a whole different argument, and they have 14 teams, so it's hard to compare the Big 12 and the SEC.
They'd be top 10, maybe.
They would. They definitely would. Dorrance is going to be a draft pick, probably first round, if he has a good enough season.
Yeah.
Next, Myles Garrett.
Ooh. Yeah, by the way, Myles Garrett, he was the number 1 pick, Ian. What school did he come from? Texas A&M.
Not Missouri.
Okay, so I had one point. I am going to pay attention to this game coming up on Saturday against Central Michigan. This, for me, is a benchmark kind of game. It's the difference between does KU win 2 games or 1 game for that matter, or if they're able, they're going to probably win this game. Central Michigan's not a good team, but if they win by like 20 plus, then I could realistically see a win or 2 coming from the Big 12 schedule if they're able to dominate a team that is not good. Ohio coming up, that's a team very similar to KU, I would say, in terms of skill and in terms of like line size and stuff like that. You know, all the measurables, an above average MAC team. But this first game here is a below average MAC team, and if you're able to put them down, win by the line on this game, I saw it earlier. I don't remember what it was, though. I don't want to say what it was without knowing it. KU versus Central. As I saw it a couple days ago. I don't know what's changed. Yeah, where was that?
Well, while he's looking that up,
yeah, here we go. KU 5.5. KU's got a 5.5 point edge.
I think it should be bigger than that.
If you're able to come out and just dominate that,
yeah,
you know, win by 20 plus, then I can see wins coming out of the Big 12.
Right.
If you come out though and you win by a field goal or something, that's your last win of the season.
I think a lot of or I've heard a lot of coaches say that these kind of crapshoot games at the beginning of the season are confidence builders, and in KU's case, this is a game that you should dominate. And if you dominate, I think it'll build confidence. I think it gives you a little bit more confidence going against teams like Iowa State or I don't know really how good teams like Texas are going to be or Baylor.
Texas didn't look good.
Because Texas did not look good. I'm not sitting here predicting a win against Texas.
I mean, it happened last year.
I mean, it did happen last year. We beat Texas last year. I repeat, we did beat Texas.
No, your possible wins though is maybe against Texas Tech and maybe against Iowa State.
If the absolute best case scenario is somehow the KU offense is good enough to squeak out 6 wins. I don't think it'll happen.
Okay.
No, just hear me out. Just hear me out on this one. Okay, so we already beat SEMO. That's 1. Central Michigan and Ohio, that'd be 3. Texas Tech, it's possible. Baylor, it's possible. As of right now in the power rankings, we're ranked above Baylor. This is kind of hot, okay? And my 6... They
lost to Liberty.
Right, they did lose to Liberty. That's not good. And is that 5? And then Iowa State, obviously.
Yeah.
Iowa State.
So what you're telling me is they have to win the games that they're projected to be close in.
Yes.
Win all of them.
Yeah. What I'm saying is...
And then pull off an upset somewhere.
Yes. This is absolutely best case scenario. Yeah. Everything falls in their way in those toss-up games.
Yeah. I would say if the most expected scenarios, they beat Central Michigan. Ohio...
I think they beat Ohio.
It's a road game, though, I don't know. I would say... Okay, slightly above average, but still realistic scenario. They beat Central Michigan, they beat Ohio, and then they either beat a Baylor at home or they go on the road and win at Iowa State. 4 wins, I think, is above average, like above what it should be, but realistic.
Yeah, my prediction is they beat Central Michigan and Ohio, and they beat Texas Tech at home, which would be a really big win for the program, and they win 4 games. I don't think they win at Iowa State. I've seen Oklahoma teams go in there and struggle multiple times. It's a decent road environment for how crappy their program is. So I think they go 4 wins, which is a step in the right direction, but it's obviously not good.
If I was going to give my what I'm going to put money on line, I think it's 3 wins though. Because bad teams don't generally play up to their expectations for the most part. I would say you get to 3 wins. You beat Central Michigan, and then you either squeak one out at Ohio, you squeak one out at home against Baylor. Like you beat Central Michigan, and then you happen to pull out one of those games that should be close.
Right. That's a very good scenario for the team. We can't really, as KU fans, we cannot expect much.
3 wins. So. 3 wins doesn't get David Beatty fired.
No.
So 3 wins doesn't burn the house down. Next year, I would say you've got to, though, as David Beatty, you've got to win 4 or 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then year after that, if you're not bowl eligible, you're probably getting fired.
And
I would say 3 years though left. I would say you give him. With 3 more years, at that point, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah,
and if he's able to make a bowl in 3 years, he should be going into the Ring of Honor.
Yeah, yeah, he would be.
After that, though,
he would be pulling off a Bill Snyder type thing.
After that, though, the heat would get turned.
This may be an argument for another time, but if the Big 12 does crumble in the next few years, I'd say next 4 or 5 years, and the KU football program is still at the level it is now, there's going to be hell to pay, and I think KU will pay for it. I don't know if I personally think the KU basketball program is a big enough powerhouse that it brings you into a Big Ten type conference, but
I don't think the Big Ten. I think this is a good argument. I like this one. I think you're most likely going to end up in the American Athletic Conference.
That conference is getting better, so that's not a horrible place to go.
Yeah, you've got for basketball. KU would be a bottom feeder in that conference too, but for basketball at least, you've got UConn, a traditional power team. You've got
SMU.
You've got SMU, an above average team. Cincinnati has their times.
Right.
Like
Cincinnati makes a tournament consistently.
Yeah, it's not a bad league. I don't know how much the ACC wants to get out of their traditional territory. But the ACC is a conference that would be a best case scenario type thing. And the ACC, Louisville is not on the coast. The ACC is not strangers to having teams out there. We would just be their version of West Virginia like we have now. Yeah. And it's not an unrealistic scenario. I would say the ACC would be best case scenario. The Big Ten I don't think is a scenario that could happen. The Pac-12 I don't think is a scenario that could happen. But the American Athletic is what you're most likely going to end up in, and the ACC is what you should be trying very, very hard to become friends with right now.
Right.
Right now, I would say becoming friends with ACC athletic directors would be a good thing.
If ACC would happen, I would say if KU wins, hypothetically, if KU wins the national championship this year, they're gonna get a lot less crap for them being a choker in the tournament.
Yeah.
So you could sell the KU versus Duke, KU versus Carolina.
The basketball.
Right, basketball would be
the ACC would be all over that.
Unbelievable.
The ACC right now though is trying to sell themselves as a football conference with good reason.
They're absolutely. They can have that argument right now.
Florida State and Clemson. 2 of the last 4 years, there's your title winners.
Right.
They've got 2 out of the last 3, I believe, Heisman winners. No, 2 out of the last 2. Deshaun Watson and
Jameis.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, shoot, yeah.
Yeah, they've got the last 2.
That's another argument. No one's talking about Lamar Jackson. And they're completely ignoring the past Heisman winner.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, Louisville football, they're huge step down this year.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson. He started out so hot, and he ended up the season limping, where if anybody would have stepped up and had a great end of the season, they would have won it.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, he did. That's true. He was the winner by week 8.
Yeah, and then after that, he didn't hold on to it. He tried really hard to give it away, but nobody came and took it from him. But the ACC is trying to sell itself as a football conference, and that's the reason right now. If the ACC tails off in football though in the next few years, and they kind of go back to we'll stick to our roots. Also, the Big East was something that used to be talked about. Whatever's left of it.
Yeah, the Big East isn't what it used to be, obviously.
Well, yeah, but they've still got some. Still got some basketball teams.
Right, basketball wise, but football wise, oh my.
But I think the Big 12 would be more likely to join if those 2 conferences both came calling, I think they would be more likely to join the American.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing you've got to think about though is if all hell broke loose and the conference fell apart, there would be others. All the rest of the schools are also going places, and so leagues that you think might be willing to accept KU right now might not be willing to because they would have an opportunity to take in Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Like you might, or
right,
like the Big Ten, you might think, oh well, KU might be able to get into that. Well, the Big Ten's going to be calling Oklahoma and Texas and them, and they don't have a lot of spots remaining. Right now is the time to be moving conferences, not when things fall apart. You want to be the one that starts it. That's how you end up as a Missouri in the SEC, that's how you get to a stable league, is leaving your ship before it sinks.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the university that's not invited to the party. Which make friends now with ADs.
And while we're at it, why hasn't the Big 12 added like a Cincinnati and an SMU?
God dang it, SMU, Cincinnati, or Houston.
Yeah. Why? I don't get it. I guess my one argument against it though is the Big 12 North and Big 12 South was such a really great division.
Yeah.
The way to divide the teams up. And since you had 3 teams leave from the North, getting to have those rivalry games in football that have to happen every year, Oklahoma and Texas need to play each other every year. Mm-hmm. And that's something that would be hard to get set up if you add SMU and also Houston. Like I've heard talk is, you just create a Houston division or a Texas division, and then everybody that's not in Texas. But then that really that breaks up Oklahoma, Texas every year.
You have to have that rivalry in there.
Yeah, because they're not. Those are the 2 main schools in the conference. They're not signing up to anything where they don't play each other every year. So there's a lot of different stuff there. I don't know how it'll break down. It's not a hot topic right now, but it's something.
Yeah, that was a good argument. Let's move on to college football in general. Your takes. I didn't really.
Okay.
This is all Caleb.
I have one hot take I wanted to make. It's not really that hot, but all these Week 1 college football games, and as a fan, I'm a fan of it. I love watching big games, but I don't get why there's so many of them in Week 1. In college football, these are a lot of the guys you're trotting out there in these big programs, or juniors, sophomores, freshmen, whatever. But guys that don't have any top level experience, guys that have been on the bench or just came in from high school or whatever, and you trot them out there in Week 1. We're gonna play on a neutral site against Alabama, and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Does college football need a preseason? No, but there's a reason why you play those bad schools in Week 1. Mm-hmm. I would really much rather see Florida State, Alabama in Week 3. Give them a couple weeks to sort everything out. That game, it was sloppy. We had injuries out there.
Right, Francois
gone.
That kills Florida State. Absolutely kills
There's
them.
A couple other big name guys, but Francois is the one that everyone knows about. You will see. I would love to see that game happen in Week 2 or 3.
Right.
But obviously, it pays really well to have it in Week 1. Or USC, Western Michigan. USC they haven't had any time to prepare this. They come right out, and they were in a dogfight with Western Michigan, who is a good team, but USC should be able to pound. They're a top 5 team. You have even for not top programs, in Week 1, you had you had Baylor lose in Week 1. Mm-hmm. That's just a sign. Baylor is undeniably a better team than Liberty, no matter how bad they are. But since they don't have any preparation, that kind of thing can happen. And that I want them to play teams like Liberty in Week 1. You can lose, but more than likely you're going to be able to get those kinks worked out. And a top-level team, Baylor, if they were a good team, would not have lost to Liberty.
And you also have Ohio State and Oklahoma this week.
Yeah. Ohio State and Oklahoma have both played games. It's going to be undeniably a better game to watch. Auburn, Clemson will be undeniably a better game to watch because those teams have played games already and have gone out there and gotten the preparation. I don't know, if you were going to play, I don't know, my only experience is basketball, and if our first opponent by junior and senior year was both Mission Valley, which was a team that we were able to beat and, come out, and we placed jittery, but we were able to come out and beat. But had we went out and played Osage City in Week 1, or the best team in our league, it wouldn't. undeniably it would have been a more difficult game for both sides because you've got to knock the nerves off.
All right, well, since you mentioned basketball, let me ask you this. How about the Champions Classic? Do you think...
I'm not
Are you a fan of KU and Kentucky and Duke and Michigan State playing each other?
If it was a week later, I would like it more. But the difference is, though, with basketball, though, is you get to preseason games. You get to exhibition games.
Right.
And even before the Champions Classic, I believe they play like one regular season.
Yeah, they do. They play one game.
Yeah.
Like we played Indiana the game before Duke.
Yeah.
Which was we gave up like 95 points.
Yeah, that was that. But they at least get a couple exhibition games.
And football is such a team-oriented sport, and basketball is 5 guys.
Yeah. The argument would be then that you should have exhibition games for college football, but the way they're trying to expand the college football schedule with the playoff, which the playoff really needs to become 8 teams for it to be a true playoff.
Absolutely.
4 games is not a playoff.
No.
And the way they're trying to extend the season, you don't want to be adding games on top of that for college kids. But I don't... Like it's not going to be something that changes. The money is too good, they're not playing the NFL games that weekend. That's why you can get all these great neutral site stadiums. But I don't like it. It's just kind of my thing. I was sitting there thinking about it.
All right. Well, we were going to talk about the transfer policy, but I have a girlfriend who's getting really pissed off at me.
Oh.
So we might have to wrap this thing up.
Yeah. Here,
pretty quick.
In 30 seconds, I'll say it real quick.
Okay. And go.
The transfer policy
wait,
now.
I'll give you a minute.
Okay. Right now, if you transfer to a school, you can't play for a year. Jay Billis has a really good article, and the NCAA is looking into removing that restriction. Some are in favor of it because it would mean more good college basketball players playing more. Some people are opposed to it because it means that you could transfer easier, and it promotes the whole liberal snowflake. You can't. I don't feel good here. I want to transfer mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I either or is fine with me. Just so long as basketball happens. I could have made more points, but that's a good take right there. Anyway, we've been streaming for quite a while.
Over an hour, yeah.
Yeah, we got Ian in here. What's he doing? They had to play A&M, and they beat them when they had Menzel.
It's in all caps.
Okay, well, whatever that boy.
All right, Bonesy.
Yeah, so thanks for watching the show, guys. We enjoyed making it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. We'll be back.
Probably next week.
Want to do this like every Thursday?
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it every Thursday.
Makes it easy to preview the NFL week and talk about the week of college football.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, it's a good day. And I only have one class on Thursday.
Yeah, me too.
So live from the campus of the Pittsburgh State Gorillas, this has been the Tru Homiez Podcast. And if I can figure out where the software is, we are out.